So there's a tax credit out there. I didn't know anything about it. Jackie's got her computer here. She'll turn it on and Google it, because I've not seen that come across my,
You have a news release? Yeah, I haven't heard of it either. I actually
is that because
went,
it's so cold? They're trying to get people to come out of their house from hibernation?
That might be 7,500 for your
Well, that's
down
the-
payment.
Yeah, well, that's what the
federal,
old one
federal
was.
tax credit, I assume.
No, it's from Michigan.
It is a Michigan
I
tax
believe
credit?
it is.
Interesting.
Well, Jackie will
I'll find it.
dig this out while we
Okay.
converse.
Of course, most people don't have 7,500 in state taxes that they pay, so it must be a credit you get and then a rebate or something back from the state, I would assume. I hope you can find it. We'll talk about it. Yeah, I'm just the guest here for your radio show, Laura, so tell me what you want to talk
No,
about.
You're paying for this.
Oh,
Greg,
I
Greg,
I
just-
like this.
I pay for it in one fashion or another.
Right, there you go.
Okay.
You know, I want to follow up on, remember when we were talking about a smoke shop next to a regular store, like a flower
Yeah, right.
shop or something?
Right, and creating a nuisance or a problem.
Right, so on a state level, I can't go into a bar or a restaurant and smoke. Why would I be able to go into a multi-unit facility and smoke?
You've lost me a little bit.
And-
You need to give me a
I
little
did find
clarification.
that
on it.
when you're ready.
Oh, okay, good, you're faster than Jackie, I'm
Yeah.
impressed. Since she's a little younger, I figured she'd be more computer savvy.
Oh,
Well,
we-
on a-
we
on a-
talked-
on a state level, well, I can't go to Belinote and light up a cigarette, not that I would do that, but, so why, what other locations are restricted from smoking on a state level? I can't go into a dress shop.
Right, places of public accommodation, et cetera, you
Right.
can't smoke. So, but if you're smoking, I don't know what the rules are. You're asking me a question again, off the top of your head.
I know, it was
You
off
haven't
the
given
top
me a
of my
chance
head.
to take a look at it. I don't know the answer to your question. You need to give me a little advance notice. Would you like me to investigate that and give you a heads up next week?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay,
Well, there
somebody
you go.
send me.
I thought that was
send
kind
me-
of an
All
interesting,
right, Jackie, send me an email, will you?
Show
I'm supposed to
planning.
look that up. Yeah.
in advance, right on the
Right.
show.
Exactly.
And then I also asked you a question last night about frozen pipes and whether or not, if I'm a tenant, because of course, we're not the only municipality that has a problem with frozen water pipes, but if I'm a tenant and I have frozen pipes,
Right?
what kind of recourse do I have?
Depends on how long the problem lasts. You asked me the question if it lasted for 4 weeks, whether or not I'd have a right to get out of the lease, and the answer is generally yes, because the landlord has an obligation to provide premises that are, quote, habitable, end quote, or fit for human habitation. If you don't have running water, it's not fit for human habitation, which means generally you can terminate the lease. And as a tenant, I would be hard pressed to stay in a place that was without water for that length of time. Now, if it's a temporary problem, the landlord's on it to try and fix it, then that's a different matter and solves it within a reasonable period of time. That's not grounds to terminate the lease.
Well, what if they can't solve
let me
it?
finish.
Okay.
Okay. You may be entitled to a credit for the period of time that you had to leave the premises where it was uninhabitable, that sort of thing.
But what if they can't solve it? It's not an act of God.
Well, it is an act of God, and it may not be the landlord's problem, because if it's something that exists, I'm trying to think of what the rules are here, but if it exists up to where the meter is at the house, that's the city's fault, that's not the landlord's fault.
Well, not at the meter at the house.
Could you finish, could you let me finish
Well,
again?
no.
Do you mind if I talk while you interrupt? In other words, wherever if it's the city's responsibility, wherever that responsibility is in terms of the water system, the landlord doesn't have to do the fix, but the problem is the landlord is not providing habitable premises. So even though it is not the landlord's fault, you as the tenant may have the ability to say to the landlord, look, this is uninhabitable, I can't be here. Right now, it looks like the winter's not gonna end until July 15 or so, so I've
Let's
gotta
hope
find
it
another
ends
place.
before then, right, Greg?
Yeah, we hope so.
So the city's not responsible up to the house?
I don't know where
uh-uh.
the city's, Laura would know better than
The,
I, she's
um,
a city council person.
The
Just from the street?
street
shut-off
to
valve.
the shut-off valve, and the shut-off
Right,
valve
shut-off
is
valve's
usually
what I was
right
talking
around the sidewalk somewhere.
Right.
Usually it's on the property owners, the property side of
Of the
the
sidewalk.
sidewalk,
Right.
as opposed to the street side of the
You can
sidewalk.
actually see the valve cap on most of it. I didn't mean the meter, I meant the shut-off.
Yeah. This is what I was correcting you on.
Thank you very much for the correction.
Politely.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Okay. So Jackie found the, okay, so it's a Mishta,
Mishnah.
Ella Mishta, Michigan Next Home, Help Me Buy My Next Home.
That's actually providing funds to do that, that's not
Yeah,
a
so
tax credit.
repeat home buyers may be eligible for down payment assistance up to a maximum of $7,500 or 4% of the purchase price, whichever is less. This can be applied to the down payment, closing costs, or prepaid expenses.
What are qualifications, though? They have to be income qualifications, I'm sure.
Sure. What are the overall eligible? Any previous homeowner. The applicant's income must fall within the income limit.
Does it say what those income limits are?
It does.
Because it's usually low to middle income.
Right. That income limit didn't come up. I don't know if my finger's too fat. Jackie, yours does something different. Sale price must fall within.
70 to 100,000.
That's the sale price.
No, that's
No, that's the income
limit
limit.
for two.
Do you have internet service here?
So you must make a minimum of 70,000, but can make no greater than 100,000, Greg, is that what it's saying?
It says it generally ranges from 70 plus for a household of one or two to just under 100,000 for three or more.
Oh, that's the cap?
Cap.
Yeah, that's the cap, okay, right.
And
Yeah.
then, and that's pretty healthy income, I would say. There's a sale price. It must fall within a certain sale price, but I can't get the link to go in here. The buyer occupies the home as their principal residence. Minimum credit score of 640 and 660 for a manufactured home. It's a new or existing single-family homes. So,
Check with Mishnah.
Yeah, absolutely.
well, check with your lender,
Your
Or your
realtor.
realtor, right. Check with your realtor.
realtor.
At least one realtor knows that this exists.
Right, I have
That
not
would
seen
be
this come
Laura.
through. I wonder when that,
You learn something every day on this
Yeah.
show.
and
I
Jackie
think
will
it's
try
just
and find the sale
fantastic,
price
too.
limits too. That might make a difference. Well, that's the purpose of this show, right?
Yeah, it's a learning experience. Yeah, we featured that story today.
I'm
Just
sorry,
'cause
I
I
had
knew
that
you'd be
headache and
listening.
She usually listens to
I
your
know.
show in the morning.
I had you on-
She had a terrible headache this
Oh,
morning. when
I
she
had you
woke
on
up.
at the YMCA.
I had a headache too.
Who was it? Somebody on the show?
No
It
comment.
doesn't apply to Jackson County.
It does not apply to Jackson County.
Why would it
Why
not
not?
apply to Jackson County?
Jackson County's not listed on here.
Oh, I think they just
Well,
missed us there. Why wouldn't it apply to
What-
Jackson
what-
I
County?
have no idea. Let's see what the other counties are. Maybe that will answer. Barry, Charlevoix, Clinton, Eaton, Emmett, Grand Traverse.
Now, why
Ingham,
could you get one in
Kalamazoo.
Eaton County and not Jackson County?
I don't know. Kalamazoo, Lapeer, Leelanau, Livingston.
Okay, you don't need, it's a long list. You don't
No,
need
it
a list,
isn't.
but, go ahead.
Thank you. Livingston, Macomb, Marquette, Midland, Monroe, Oakland, Ottawa, St. Clair, Van Buren,
That's a lot of-
Washtenaw. It's almost as if they're picking the richer counties and Wayne.
I
Well,
I don't get
certainly,
that out of
I
that
will
list.
have to investigate into that.
well, Washtenaw County.
Well, it probably
Traverse
says
City.
why the certain counties are eligible as opposed to other counties.
Well, it's got your income levels in here. So Washtenaw County, I can make income of 1 to 2 persons, $101,040. And the sale price can't be over $224,500. I'm not sure you can buy a house in Washtenaw County for that.
Oh, dear. So that, why?
You can buy 2 in Jackson.
Can you explain?
No, but we'll
Do you have
research
any-
that and we'll
I have
come back
no
next
idea.
week with
I have
that.
no idea why that is, but I'll tell you what, send me
You
an
got
email.
Eaton County, Washtenaw, right next to us. And
It didn't mention, did it mention Lenawee County?
it didn't mention
But
Hingham.
obviously, there are a ton of other counties that
Lenawee,
are
yeah.
excluded
No,
as
it didn't
well.
mention Lenawee, so and it didn't, I don't think it mentioned Calhoun
Calhoun,
County.
right.
So,
Hingham?
And within those counties, some
Hingham
of
wasn't
them
listed.
have specific cities that are only, that are
So some of the cities.
But what Jackie was saying is that within those counties that are included, there are only some cities or municipalities that are included. Is that what you're saying, Jackie?
On some of them, yes.
Okay.
Some of them.
All right, we'll find out. We'll find out what's going on, and
Hey,
one of us will
I
relay it
just want
next
to go
week.
back to the frozen pipes for 1 second.
Go
If you
for it.
got a good landlord and you got frozen pipes, it's not their fault. So I'm not going to encourage anybody to break their lease.
No, I'm not.
So,
No, you missed the point.
Because I have had calls. And one landlord specifically who is trying her darndest to help her tenants, and so I want to make sure people recognize that there's some really good landlords out
Well,
there.
no, I understand. I didn't mean to say that you should break the lease, but actually what you should do is talk to the landlord. If you have to move out for a period of time, the landlord will give you typically would give you a rent credit for that period of time, just prorated. If you're out of the premises for 2 weeks as a result of no water, ask the landlord for a 2-week rent credit. That would be the way to address that. I mean, I suspect most of the people would like to get back into their apartments. They
Yeah, they
want to
probably
move
don't
all
want
their
to move.
stuff
I wouldn't
out.
want to move.
But they've
Unless
got to
they
be
didn't
out
want my place.
temporarily. Now, who is providing water? Is the city, you're getting water from the water store or something like that? What's the
Home
city do?
Depot has been really generous and has given the city 280 cases of water.
All right,
So
but that's drinking water,
That's drinking
brushing
water,
teeth. What do
and the
people
city
do for
is
bathing,
giving-
et cetera?
they
You
go
go
to
to
the Y. And I had a neighborhood meeting last night, and probably 75% of the people there, of the
Frozen.
50, were frozen
Pipes.
water, frozen pipe people.
And pothole people.
And they're tired of it, and I can't imagine going through what they're going through. Just can't imagine it. My heart goes out to them. We recorded it, so it will be online. I can give you some snippets to play.
Okay.
But
With no break in sight in the foreseeable weather future. I was
No.
it's
a 10-day
predicted that it will probably
forecast.
get worse, actually, because once those lines start thawing, depending on from what and I'm no engineer, but based on the conversation that I even heard at my own neighborhood meeting last night, that once it starts warming up, that ice expands, and depending on the type of pipe that's
They could
going
be
to the
very
house,
old.
it
Well,
could
break.
break,
I think
and
the
that's
problem,
not.
I'm not an engineer, but I think the problem is the soils around the pipe thaw. Now all of a sudden the ice, which has a larger volume than the liquid water, then bursts the pipe.
Right.
Now you're dealing not just with a frozen pipe, you're dealing with a burst underground pipe
Right.
that you need to go in and repair or replace. That's gonna be a real headache.
Yeah, and one of the constituents had a good idea of making sure we have an emergency plan for next year, and so
The
I'll pass
emergency
it
plan
on.
is I'm moving to Florida.
Yeah. No, and I don't know what that is, but of the 141 homes, only 21 of them were built after 1949. I don't know if that's a sign of anything.
Well, it would seem to be.
Yeah, and most of them, or 53 of them are in my ward, 52 are in Dan Greer's ward, and then the other ones are just spattered. So most of them are north of town.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I don't know if that has anything to do with it. Dewey, Bacchus, those are in my ward, and those are hit really hard.
But they're all older.
Yeah,
Most of
For
them,
1949 or
95% are older homes.
right. Yep.
Bill, I'm claiming discrimination here.
In terms of,
Not being able to get $7,500 for a down payment.
the problem is there are only
Because
certain,
I live in Jackson County?
there's only certain classifications of individuals who are protected under the
And that's not protected.
anti-discrimination laws.
Where you
And
live
just
is
don't
not
happen to
protected.
fit within one of those categories.
I
Although
could.
I guess we could
You're so
probably
far
create
out of all the
radio
categories,
announcer as
it's
a
not
category.
funny.
Well, how can somebody living in Eaton County get $7,500?
I don't know.
Because you live in Jackson County, you can't get.
Why do some people get a
Jackie's
certain
busy
tax
over there
break
trying
and
to
others
research.
don't get it?
Does
It's-
it say why?
Here's a description of it.
Okay, Jackie is a miracle worker.
But that's not telling
Down
much.
payment assistance may be available from MISHDA to help you purchase your home. This program is for low to moderate income home buyers,
Okay.
depending on the home location and your family size. The program includes a home buyer education class that will give you valuable information as you take the first step towards home
Oh, I'm sure it
ownership.
will.
So you gotta take a class, available with MISHDA's FHA or Rural Development First Mortgages. Although it didn't say you had to be a previous
Doesn't
homeowner.
say why they're picking certain counties, at
Yeah, it
least in
doesn't
this
say.
article.
It just, that's all it says.
We'll find out. no need to belabor the point here. We'll
Belabor.
find out why it is next week, but the point is, it doesn't apply to Jackson County, according to the information that Jackie pulled up.
I'm puzzled.
I'm a little puzzled too, but there's gotta be some method. Well,
To their
wait a second,
madness?
I'm not
It
sure
doesn't
that
sound
there's
fair.
a method to their madness.
Yeah.
Low and moderate income in Washington County,
It
$77,000.
doesn't-
Say what now?
Low to moderate income in Washtenaw County is $77,000.
That's below the poverty level in Ann Arbor.
Yeah, right, right. Maybe that's what, maybe it's for those communities, like Grand Traverse, probably has a healthy income level.
No, Grand Traverse actually has I think a high unemployment level, if I'm not mistaken, the whole county, Grand Traverse County.
Well, it's one of the
If I'm
it's
not-
one
if
of
I'm
the
not
top
mistaken.
5 walkable communities in the state of
Yeah,
Michigan.
but that's Traverse City, and that's
Well,
not the county. The
but
county
that's-
itself, I know several years ago, was on economic hard
Well, I
times, or
don't
in
know.
economic
So now we're
hard times.
baffled.
Charlevoix-
it out.
Charlevoix, Harbor Springs.
Yeah, Charlevoix, give me a
Harbor-
break.
Yeah, Harbor Springs itself obviously is very wealthy, but
Yeah.
the countywide, I suspect that the economy may be suffering. It
There's
has
not-
been in northern Michigan, just generally.
Not a lot of
Years.
jobs
Right,
there.
right.
Yeah. Okay, Laura, you have 2 minutes.
2 minutes?
Yeah.
Wow, that flies. Did anything you wanna? We were gonna talk about finish up the assessed value tax levy. That'll be to another day.
Yeah,
apparently.
we're gonna have to push that to another
Well-
day, because when we left the conversation last week, I think there was still a lot of confusion about distinguishing between AV, assessed value, true cash value, TCV, state equalized value, which is SEV, and taxable value, TV. Those are the 4 basic terms that need to be really spelled out. And then we had started talking about appealing tax assessment, and Board of Appeals coming up here in a week or so, and you gotta be prepared. If you miss Board of Review, you are toast. You will not be able to
And
appeal
all
your
those tax
taxes.
assessment notices, you should have got them.
Should have gotten them by now,
We've
although some
gotten them.
municipalities have not gotten them out yet.
Well, Jackson's got theirs out. Tawa City
I
has
haven't
theirs
seen Ann
out.
Arbor's yet.
Liberty has theirs out.
Yeah, but some of them don't, and you gotta be, it's a very short period of time between when you get the notice and when the Board of Review meets. And if you miss the Board of Review and it's a residential appeal, you cannot appeal it. You can't wait for your tax bill to come out, too late. Okay? So we can talk about the taxes a little bit more next week. There are a bunch of other things that are happening too. It's just, I'm swamped at the moment with a variety of real estate issues and questions.
I hope you're writing them down so you can share
I
that
keep
wisdom
them, I
that's
keep them in
your
my head. All right, what do you want
All
to do
right.
for the last minute or so?
Well, I have a couple of price reductions. We want you to get out there and buy homes despite the blizzard-like conditions. It's a good time to buy a house. Look at, he's peeking out the window. 200 North Thompson is down to 55,000. That's a cute bungalow, 2-bedroom, 1 bath, just shy of 900 square feet. And then 722 Fifth Street in Michigan Center, clean as a whistle house. It's 89.5. That's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. 1760 square feet. It's on a corner lot with a nice fenced-in yard, right across the street from the lake, pretty much. And get out and buy a home or call me and we'll get yours listed. 780-3800 or Laura at thinkingrealestate.com.